Like, and then you sit here and tell me to go work for a job where I'm going to make, I want to make millions. I want to be able to support all my family, to be able to help my family pay off things that, you know, they're struggling to pay, to help my mom get a place to live.
How's it going today, guys? Tophiachu's life has been spiraling the last couple of weeks, and I know that's common in a Chu video, but what's different about it right now is Tophiachu is literally on the verge of getting kicked out of her shelter. She might lose it and she'll be under a bridge. The last couple of weeks, she has been getting on live stream, losing her mind because the shelter she's living at refuses to let her see Studchu. Tophiachu is madly in love with this girl. So what Tophiachu has decided to do is like, try to ruin her life, basically. She's saying, screw the shelter I'm living at. I don't like how they're trying to control my life. It's bad here, and I want everybody on the internet to know that these people suck. And then she starts crying and starts blaming other things in her life. You know, she's like, oh, my brother, oh, my mom. But all it really boils down to is Tophiachu, like a lost puppy, is just vying for Studchu's attention. She wants it so bad. She wants to be out of this shelter so she can go live her life with somebody who has finally shown her love. At least in Tophiachu's mind. But because she can't have that right now, she's literally choosing the worst options. So let's think of a couple things we know about Tophiachu's life at the moment. She's living far better than she was in the Chu Cruiser. In the Chu Cruiser, her and her family members were hunkered around a 1-pound bag of Dorito chips, scarfing the thing down and calling it a meal. In the place she's at right now, people cook for her. She's able to get sweets at the nighttime. She's able to go to a store, purchase things, bring it back, and cook for herself. Tophiachu, all things considered, for being homeless and not being around her family, she's living okay. It's literally like a teenager right now. It's like their first love, and they're like, I don't care what you say, parents. I am in love with this person, and I'm going to spend the rest of my life with them. And it's like, dude, you're like 14. You'll figure things out. You won't even remember this person probably in like 5 years. But for Tophiachu, she's a 30-year-old woman and she's experiencing this for the first time. And what's another thing Tophiachu has told us time and time again, she's tried to beat it into our head that this is what's going on, is that she can't talk about this stuff. She can't talk about her shelter because if she does, she's probably going to get kicked out and live under a bridge. They're watching, they're keeping tabs on it, and in Tophiachu's words, they're literally trying to control what she posts on TikTok. Now, I imagine, because Tophiachu exaggerates and blows things out of proportion, they're literally not trying to tell her what to post. They're just saying, hey, while you're under our organization, please do not post these things. And I guess it could suck, but you've got to understand you're living under their roof, their rules. Some shelters kick you out during the daytime. You're lucky you can sit in there 24/7. So sometimes you just have to take what you get, and Tophiachu is literally about to squander that all for herself. So let's go ahead and jump into this video and see how Tophiachu manages just to make things worse for herself every single time.
I was just trying. I had a anxiety, panic attack, whatever it was. I couldn't breathe. I was shaking. I was crying. I just had to get out because I needed some air. And you know, I just want a place. My mom doesn't have that long to live. You know, she has health problems, and the health is not going great. And I'm trying the best that I can to get whatever I need so I can rent a place. And you know, I'm just like really, really struggling. I'm about to lose, well, I'm not about to lose the storage because I'll just be behind and I have days to pay it. But if I fall behind, then I won't be able to catch up. And you know, it has my brother's stuff in it. It has all of his stuff, everything, you know. And it sucks because I'm like, why does this stuff happen after I talked with my therapist? I'm trying not to cuss or get mad, but to tell someone to get off of social media is not the freaking option. Because I'm so sick and tired of saying, your problems will go away. No, it wouldn't. Because people still harass me when I get off of social media. I'm so sick and tired of people suggesting the stupidest shit ever. and it's pissing me off. It's not helping me, like, my mental, and I'm about to lose my freaking shit because I can't talk to anyone about anything. I can't control what people do. I can't control what goes on because people don't want to take accountability and leave people alone. I was off social media for a freaking month because I was living in a car, and someone had the audacity to offer people in a Discord $400 to take a picture of me in a car. When is it going to end? I don't have anybody. My brother is gone. I don't really have friends like that. And I'm not trying to be rude or say that nobody is my friend. Please don't take it that way. I'm not talking about anybody. I'm not talking about anything. I'm talking about the place that I'm at. For me, I just felt like packing up my stuff and just buying a tent and living under a bridge, because that's just where my mentality's at. I'm struggling. I really am struggling, and no one cares. But some things happened recently, and I can't even talk about that because, and it's just, I don't have no one to talk to, and no one really understands just everything that has been going on. I literally want to listen to The Weeknd. That's of the devil. Can't listen to that. If I really want to listen to Michael Jackson, I could probably, but as long as I have my headphones in, otherwise I can't jam out or enjoy things when I'm taking a shower. I listen to Kenny Loggins and Yacht Rock. That's of the devil. Can't do that. If I want to listen to oldies like the Gap Band, I can't. The only thing I could really listen to is old country, and that's about it. And gospel music.
The last couple months or so, Tophiachu's incomes have been dropping like flies. She's lost her TikTok again. She's been lost her Cash App after like the scamming allegations and things of that nature. She's been lost that, but she's losing everything at this point. And literally, she's going to tell you guys she only made $12 off of Facebook. I want you to think about that. 12 whole buckaroos you got there, buddy. 12 doubloons you got to spend on the finest wares in America. In Albuquerque you could find. What could you possibly get? Well, a couple smash burgers. Just a couple patty melts there, good sir. Get you along with your day. Now, you could criticize Tophiachu for spending $12 on an $11 meal. I mean, there's definitely things you could have put that money towards that would have, saved. Plenty of whole meals you could have bought from the store. Well, not like a lot of them, but you could have made something and maybe ate it for 2 days. My main thing though is, how are you going to tell us that you make plenty of money? You don't have to worry about a thing. You don't have to work, have any of those problems. In fact, you refuse to do it. A video I wish I could have shown you guys. I think I'm gonna go live later today, so make sure to check that out and we'll watch this video if you're watching the day this video comes out. Was Tophiachu sitting there cussing everybody out about a job? She had obviously just realized something, and there was some homeless dude sitting behind her singing some songs, listening to rock music, and it really goes to show you Tophiachu does not care at all about random strangers sitting behind her. She was so much more focused on her phone screaming at her viewers than she even cared about the strangers sitting behind her. But back to the main point is that if you're only getting $12 off of Facebook and you're getting around a flat $400 off of TikTok, living large with a solid $412, maybe you're getting $300 off Cameo, a good month for you, you're making $800. That's crazy work, not because you won't do any work. It's like so simple. If you would just not even buckle down, work 20 hours a week at a regular job, you would probably be netting more. Like, for sure. And also, you would be meeting more friends, you would have more social experiences, you would just be living a far better life. It would give you things to do. I don't know about you guys, but whenever I was sad in my life or experienced tragedy, the last thing I wanted to do was just sit up in my room and just mope about things. I would rather go out, be around people, so that way I can ignore my problems for as long as I possibly can until I'm more suited to deal with them. And so I'm just not sitting there moping around 24/7. So how are you planning on saving up enough for rent or a house when you don't even have enough to feed yourself? You said it yourself, the housing isn't going well. You really think you can stick this out for another 3 or 4 years? But, you know, as the viewers, we know it's Big Toph. She will slink down to the grime if she has to, if she believes she's going to get a house. I mean, she even kind of told us she was living in a car. I mean, we all know about Tophiachu going live in a car for like a month straight, but I didn't know she was living in it. Who was you living with, Tophiachu? When was there a secondary Chu Cruiser saga that just went unnoticed by everybody because you wasn't live streaming? I'm imagining you got kicked out of the shelter for a month or so, had to live in Stud Chu's car, and Stud Chu refused for you to go live in there, but you still did a couple of times. And I could be mistaken because, in all honesty, we didn't know Tophiachu was living in a car until she just told us. Now there's a huge mystery. Why was you living in a car? What did you do, Tophiachu? I mean, we can take a solid guess. You probably posted something you wasn't supposed to, and then boop, you was out of there. So you're not afraid that could happen again? It makes no sense to me. She's literally sitting there like, yep, I can't even jam out to my Chris Brown. Like, just put your headphones in, Toph. I know it's an inconvenience, but, you know, in my opinion as well, you're surrounded by a bunch of other women trying to live their life, probably actually working a job. And not for like the religious reasons. I think you shouldn't be blasting your music. I think it's more of like a respectful reason, but you don't know anything about that.
But I just need to figure out a way to make money that's outside of TikTok, because it's not ruining, okay, TikTok in a way is not ruining my relationships. It's just people twist and mix things that I say and then try to say, oh, like when I talk about people, I'm not talking about someone in my personal life. Like I won't do that on here. You know what I mean? That's so crazy. God forbid I'm down, I can't be down, you know, unless I have my own place. Then if I don't feel like doing something, I could just lay in bed all day. I don't know, for me personally, and I am going to be truthfully honest, you know, I don't have those thoughts of wanting to myself. But with major depression comes, that never goes away. I don't know what to do with my life because I'm so overwhelmed, I'm so hurt, I'm so upset, like I can't even function in life and move forward. Like I don't have very many people to talk to. People have to understand that when I talk to somebody about something, it's because that's the only person I have, really. I don't have a lot of girlfriends to talk to about. I don't even have a relationship, but you know, relationship issues or about things that I'm like, hey, can you give me like some feedback? Can you tell me? Can you help me in this situation? Like, I don't have people like that in real life, you know? I don't have someone to be there and be like, yes, I did, but, you know, there's some things going on. And I'm not coming to the internet to bring that personal stuff on here. I have never talked about people in my personal life online, but it seems like Reddit and all these people want to twist it somehow and make it seem so because they're just mad. And I'm trying to keep my mental together because I'm the only person my mom has. Yeah, she has her brothers and her family, God forbid if something happened. I already picture what happened if I'm not here. I could already picture people saying like, she was so selfish that she left her mom by herself. Why should I even have to think about what people think? My mental is, you know, and I don't know how to process. I can't even tell you guys what recently happened, and my heart is ripped out, and I don't think I'll ever recover.
You don't talk about other people? You don't talk about your personal life? Tophiachu, I could not tell you what your content is otherwise, besides you crashing out about your problems and your family members. You're the only Lolcow in the world, I believe so at least, whose other family members are also a Lolcow, and that's mainly because you bringing them to the forefront and everyone just thought, wow, everyone else in this family is incredibly ridiculous and interesting in their own right. More so than yourself, Tophiachu, most of the time. If Papachu was sane enough to keep a phone placed on him while live streaming, the dude would be making some of the craziest Daniel Larson-esque content of all time. He would probably top the future president. Like, hands down, the leader of the world trumps the president every single time. But you can't tell me, Toph, that you don't bring your family and every one of your problems to social media, because that's how we all know. You know, we didn't know about the Chew Cruiser saga, well, the 2.0 Chew Cruiser saga. Well, I guess most of us didn't until you just told us. Just like my last documentary on Fullestness, you are your own biggest enemy. You're also your only adversary. The only difference between you and Fullest is that he's his biggest friend. You are not a friend to yourself at all. In fact, you get in your own way more than he does. Fullest was very annoying for trying to spin bad situations into good things, even though everybody in the world could see that this is going to hell in a handbasket. But there's a difference, you know, there's balance to everything. If you was to just say, all right, I gotta figure this out right now. I can't just sit around and cry and think about, man, if I wasn't here, people would be blaming me. Well, that doesn't help you at all. That doesn't benefit you even in the slightest. Like, I am also a public figure, Tophiachu. There are people who disagree with things that I say. There are people who might not like me. You know what I think about that? I don't. I just don't think about it. What does that benefit me? So what does it benefit you to think about even more depressing things like losing your mom? Yes, we're all gonna lose our parents. It's a scary reality, and sometimes, just like your mom when they have health problems, those realities become far more pressing. But you just can't sit there and just be sad about it the entire time. In fact, I think if you was super sad about it, you would probably have some motivation to change things. Fear is a great motivator, and to fix your mom's life before, you know, there is no way to fix it, would be something I believe would motivate most people. So when you say it instead of doing anything about it, you just look like you're lying, especially when it came to Studchu and when you met her. That's when your drive to get out of the homeless shelter kicked into high gear. It never really was about getting Mamachu a place to stay. It's about getting a place where you and Studchu can live together. That's really all you care about.
Well, if you just get a job, if I just get a job, I'll just break down in the middle of my job and just start crying because, man, wow. Like, you know, I have major depression and PTSD, and I function at a job just fine. Well, that's you. Like, why are we doing what is it? I don't want to say disability Olympics. You know what I mean? Like the oppression Olympics or whatever it's called. Who has it worse than who? And I can function. Like, I didn't ask who can function at a job with PTSD. That's you. That's not me. I'm crying every day. I wanted to lay on the floor and cry because my heart was so broken. I couldn't even get up. And I can't even explain because, you know, it's a personal thing. And then you sit in the comment section telling people, well, you know, there's things out there. It's fabricated stuff. I'm to the point where I'm exhausted. I cannot be addressing other things when my brother has to get buried and then telling me, well, maybe if you got a job, your brother would be buried. There's no way I'm going to make $4,000 in a year. It'll take me like, 10 years to even, it'll probably take me 4 years, maybe more than that, just to even save up $4,000, because if I'm working, then that means the money has to go to pay for me to get a place to live. I don't understand why people think I'm just gonna make $4,000 one go and that's it. I'm just telling you guys like it is. I'm just saying it like it is, to be truthfully honest with you, right? Like, it sucks. Like, people think like, oh, you know, he's not buried, she doesn't care. Like, how would you know if I don't care or I do? Where do you think $4,000 is just gonna fall from the sky? Because it's not, and I'm probably gonna get heartburn. I ate a hot dog too, and I made some homemade fries. Man, those went quick. Because I had some left over and everybody liked them. Anyways. I'm like in chef mode.
When Tophiachu goes on about, I can't get a job because of the harassment that I would receive. I can't get a job because I would just break down in the middle of my shift. I always think back to a person I did a video on, Zio the Dreamer. Also received a ton of scrutiny like Tophiachu, not to the degree, that's because Zio the Dreamer is a likable person, but she suffered many of the same things that Tophiachu has went through. She's been abandoned by her family, she had left them, she had no one to rely on but herself at sometimes, but she still got up, and keep in mind guys, that Zio the Dreamer was like 400 or 500 pounds, she still got up every single day and went to work. Every day. The only reason she stopped working is because, I don't know, the only reasonable way to do this is because her TikTok income was far exceeding her hourly wage income, so it wouldn't have been smart to keep working an hourly wage instead of putting all of her focus into TikTok, which ended up almost ending her life, but that's neither here or there. That's a different side of TikTok and tragedy. You can go watch the documentary on if you're curious. It's really good. But I see people like that, and I know there's so many options Tophiachu could actually take if she would just put in a little bit of effort. You could work in a place we would never figure out. You were in a car for a month and we didn't know. You literally just don't say where you work. You don't work in a very public area, or, just in a job you go to, you don't really deal with the public, and you move on with your life. And you want to know an even crazier thing that might blow your mind, Tophiachu? If you start working at a place, right, and you are heavily liked by the entire staff, like you have never done them wrong, every time they see you, they're like, you know what, Tophiachu is a really good person. When somebody called and was trying to get you fired, they would look like the idiot. Because the people who are around you 24/7 would be like, actually no, Tophiachu's a really good person, very sweet. She just doesn't consider these things. There are cruel people in this world. There are people who will not give you a cent. But at the same time, there's a whole lot of people who just like you are going about their life, and they will give you a break. All the time. You just gotta befriend and be a pleasant person. Like how Brother Chu maintained his jobs when he was going through the same exact thing. In fact, had the same detractors as you did for the most part, and he had far worse allegations on his hand than you do. So, you're lying. There's no other way around it. You're either lying or you've been willingly ignorant. But speaking of Brother Chu, Tophiachu claims that Brother Chu is still sitting around waiting to get buried, and alright, so I'll give you Tophiachu's defense, and then I'll tell you what the rest of the world knows. Tophiachu is claiming that there's a lady who works at the place, and she is holding Brother Chu until she can't any longer. It's been over a year at this point, far over a year at this point, but she's still holding on to him. Now, you guys can believe that if you want to. That lady probably has a lot of power if she's holding remains longer than a year than she's actually supposed to. If that's the case, fantastic. If that is the case. But the most likely scenario, and I believe people have made calls about this, now I can't confirm that, but there'll probably be some people in the comment section who will say, they did call about a chinchilla, that Brother Chu is in a pauper's grave with a bunch of other unclaimed ashes because Tophiachu didn't do anything about it. And your excuse is, well, I'd never earn that money with a minimum wage job. And no, that is just not the case. You would have probably been able to afford that. I know Tophiachu's math just wasn't mathing. She's like, how could I work and earn $4,000 within a year? And I know what she was trying to say. How can I save $4,000? And with all of my other bills I've got to pay, how will I be able to save up enough for that to spend $4,000 on my brother? Well, if that's just the case, then Brother Chu's never getting buried. We just got to boil it down to that fact if that's where we're shooting for. But at the end of the day, Toph, if this was important to you, and this lady was holding Brother Chu up, you would take small amounts of money and put it to the side. This is like those people who are like, what am I ever going to do? I need a lump sum of money. It's like, no. You save money and then you get it. You just don't wait till you magically get $4,000 or even more so you have enough to spend on other things. You save for the things you want. When most people need a new car, Toph, unless they got some money in the bank and really good credit, the thought process is, oh wow, I better start saving right now so I can afford this when this car goes kaput, when it's done for.
Am I supposed to be this perfect person to get paid? You know? Whoa, what the hell? That truck tried to run me over. I almost got hit by a truck. Stupid ass. Excuse my language. He tried to hit me on purpose. And I knew he was too, because that's why I waited. I said, watch, he's gonna try to hit me. And that's another thing. I gotta stop that thinking, because that's what was gonna happen. That's my thought process, is like, I'm gonna get hit by a car, and I shouldn't think like that, because then you kind of speak it into existence. But yeah, that's why I stopped, because I knew he was. You could clearly see me. I'm not in all black. Are you outside living? If I was living outside, then you would know. Literally saying do not send money is weird. But yeah, so I'm just trying to, the place that I'm at, really, to be honest with you, I won't, well, you don't have to send money if you don't want to. That's the thing, guys, like, don't joke either. I'm not trying to be rude, like, I'm very respectful, but to make jokes like that is not okay. Like, seriously. My mom's doing all right. We're just trying to get a place. I don't know, she had a care coordinator, and I guess her care coordinator told her that she couldn't really help her. And I'm like, well, what does she really help with? Because that was a waste of time to go over there and tell her that she couldn't help her with anything. Like, it's like dead ends everywhere, and I'm just getting frustrated. I just want a place. Actually, you know what was funny is that someone was like, you could go to these free events but you can't go see your mom. First of all, the free events are not outside of Albuquerque. So any free event I go to, I have transportation because it's a free bus. And the bus does not go all the way to where my mom's at. Like, some people literally just lack common sense. It's outside of Albuquerque. The only way to get there, there is no way back, because there is not a bus that brings you back. It's not a public bus. It's a school bus that takes people out there. And then once you go there, that means you're going to stay there and you're not coming back. So I cannot take the school bus there and then have no way back. That just doesn't make sense. So for me, I'm trying to get whatever I need to get the income so I can at least rent us a place, because yeah, I don't know why people suggest getting a job, because, you know, like, that's the dumbest thing to suggest to someone who's already thought that. You know, that's probably people's first choice, is not thinking to go get a job. Like, I don't know what is going on with people. Like, to me, it's so crazy to suggest something that somebody's probably already thought of. That's a good one. I never thought of going to get a job. I don't know. I guess I don't really have a job. That's why I'm not getting paid from Temu. I guess that's just fake monopoly money, I guess. I don't know. Like, that's crazy. Why would I go get a job so the people at the job could get harassed and then I get fired? Like, that does not make sense. Like, some people need to use their brain. Like, hello? Do you think getting a job is going to stop people from harassing me? No. And if you say that, you're lying. You just want a reason, so that way when I get a job, you could say I got fired for bad hygiene, and then that's not the case. I didn't get fired for bad hygiene. I got fired for something else. But you'll make any excuse in the book saying it's your fault because of your digital footprint online. No, like, I'm not a dummy. I'm just not going to let people get the upper hand anymore, and I'm tired of it. Like, telling someone in this economy to go work for pennies is crazy. I'm not going to go work for little to no money because what? You want me to go work for nothing? Not even make a living wage? And I'm standing 8 hours a day. I would rather make my money and help other people out and help the people that are most important to me and enjoy life and eventually build up a business where I don't have to be online. And then when I don't have to be online, you want to know what'll be the best thing is getting rid of social media so I can have my freedom.
And now we're at the part where Tophiachu basically loses her mind. She's trying to play bumper cars with traffic in the street. I don't know what the hell the plan was. She literally says, I was eyeing that car down and I just ran right up in there. Like, Toph, what are you doing? Literally, children, small ones, are taught. Look left to right before you cross the road. Not look right, look dead in somebody's eyes and say, oh, is it going to be today, buddy? Do you want to go? And challenge them. That is not the move. I don't care if the Whataburgers got you a little bit bloated. The truck will win every single time. I promise you that. What kind of Papachu mindset did she just go through in that segment? She's on live stream. She immediately sees a car and says, nope, it's my turn, buddy. This reminds me so much of this story Tophiachu was telling about this going to a water park or a pool with one of her friends and her friend's young daughter. Well, the young daughter somehow managed to trick Tophiachu into the deep end of the pool 3 times. Keep in mind, Tophiachu doesn't know how to swim. It's like the old saying goes, fool me once, shame on you. Even though Tophiachu knows she can't swim, so I don't know how you get tricked into the deep end of the pool by a kid, but you know, fool me twice, shame on me. And fool me 3 times, well then you're just a tragedy. I've said it in the past that Tophiachu is so lazy, it bypasses her survival instincts. But to be honest, I don't know if she had any to begin with.
Like, you want me to sleep under a bridge? Like, that does not make sense. And then my mom's gonna be worried because I had to sleep under a bridge and I shouldn't have to explain anything, because even when I explain something, people be like, well, that's an excuse. It may be an excuse to you, but with limited transportation, I don't know what to tell you. Gas prices is high as heck. Even for me to get a car, I don't think I would barely be able to afford to put like gas in my gas tank. But God forbid, you know, I barely even had money, you know. I have a phone bill that I had to pay. You know what I got from Facebook? Facebook paid me $11.28. $11.28 on top of what I had for my phone bill. So I went and got me like the 2 cheeseburger meal because, yeah, I was hungry and I wanted the 2 cheeseburger meal. And it was only like $8, but like, it's so crazy. Like, and then you sit here and tell me to go work for a job where I'm gonna make I want to make millions. I want to be able to support all my family, to be able to help my family pay off things that, you know, they're struggling to pay, to help my mom get a place to live, to help my friends and other people. You know, that's really what I want to do. Like, I don't want to work for someone to make them money anymore. What? These people, these corporations do not care about you. I don't know why you want to waste your time standing 8 hours a day to not even make a living wage. I would not be able to even afford car insurance, much less, let alone a car. And then to go stand for 8 hours and get a bus every day, you like, public transportation? No, thank you. I would rather make money and live financially stable to the point where I don't have to worry. You know, I can get a car, I can pay my gas, I can do this. You know, some people, like, and it's there's a lot of people with cash apps in their bio because they can't even afford nothing. They can't even get a job. My brother was struggling to get a job. And here, it is true. Someone said that it's very cliquey here. That if you know people, then you can get a job. Like to say, oh, you can't even get a job at McDonald's. Some people can't even get a job at McDonald's. McDonald's does not hire anybody that just walks to the door and says, we're going to hire you. Like, that's not how it works. You can not get a job at McDonald's, or it doesn't even matter. Me aside, take me out of the job, right? If you're going to say, oh, because of your actions and all that, right? Somebody else can get denied McDonald's. They're not automatically hired at McDonald's. Like, no, and I'm not going to do OF. I can't do OF because I don't have a place to do OF. I don't have privacy, and plus I don't want to do that. I already know what's going to happen. I'm not going to end up like a Shardy Bay where people leaked my stuff from OF because they took her stuff from OF and they put it on the internet like they did Leslie.
Don't we all want to be millionaires, Tophiachu? I mean, what crazy dreams to have. I mean, I guess it's not crazy, but you really need to have some, like, goals in place that aren't just from homeless to millionaire. You know, that's quite a step up in equity, if you ask me. You've went from doing pretty bad to, well, better than a majority of the world, like 99.9% of it. Like, being a millionaire would be great and all, certainly. Everyone would enjoy being a millionaire. But, you know, having just a decent amount of money to live comfortably is also really nice, especially compared to being homeless. In fact, you know, if you just got a single bedroom apartment where there's not like 17 other people living around you 24/7 judging you, and then there's not people trying to control what you do, Tophiachu, that's a far better living than what you got going on right now. In fact, you don't even have to come close to being a millionaire to achieve that. And you're not going to be earning pennies, by the way. You're going to be earning actual money, probably more than you earn right now. And let's be honest here, Tophiachu is a 30-year-old woman who has zero work experience. The job she's going to be getting, oh, and also no education. The jobs she's going to be getting aren't the best. They're most likely going to be minimum wage. But those are also the same jobs that you could work up from and have no experience at the start and no college education or no training whatsoever and end up earning a decent amount of income. And yeah, it might just be a little degrading sometimes working for the man, but you know what else, Tophiachu, is really nice about having a 9-to-5? Consistency. You know, for the most part, you're going to have that job tomorrow, the next week, and maybe years down the line. I mean, of course, any business, as Tophiachu says, could go out of business at any moment. You don't know. But normally you have a pretty good idea when the place is going out of business. You're sitting around all day bored, you're getting paid, and the owner is getting no income because no one's coming in there. You've just got a pretty good idea. I should start looking for another job because this place might not last. Sometimes the owners tell you as well. Like I said, Tophiachu would know these small little details about human nature if she just even attempted to participate in it whatsoever.
People need to learn how to manage their money correctly, right? Me, I had a dad that thought I was Bank of America, so anytime he got this business idea in his eyes or he saw me as Bank of America, what would he do? Ask me for money and tell me, can you pay for this website so I can start this business? And this website would be like $400. Mind you, most of my money went to bills because I had to pay to keep the internet on when I had internet, right? That's literally where my money went, actually. To bills, yeah. Otherwise, you know, that was my dad, yep. And to be honest with you, all of the money that I made, because I made over like what, 20K, something like that. I could have bought a car, you know, but it went to bills. I made $3,000 the year I was living, or that year I was living in the car when I was homeless, the same car we were living in. Like, and I was trying to get an RV, but people wanted $5,000 for an RV. They wanted $15,000, and some of them wanted $2,000, but they were scams. Like, there was so much RV scams, it's not even crazy. I mean, it's not even funny. Like, I'm gonna tell you just exactly how it is.
Tophiachu would not tell us exactly how it is because not only did she not know, because she would just disappear for an hour, and then pop back up and start talking about some nonsense. And, well, you know, that'll be the end of the video today, guys. I hope you enjoyed. I just had to include that part where Tophiachu was talking about Papachu's Grand Ozark Bank. You know, Tophiachu was the first contributor. No wonder she thinks she should be a millionaire. I mean, like, she invested into what would turn into a gazillion-dollar company. I mean, she did get wronged somewhere in life. I mean, what a shame, what a shame. I would be mad too. But all jokes aside, that's the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, follow all the socials down below, use the new hype feature, leave a comment, and I'll catch you guys next time.